Experts warn the Chinese government is speeding up preparations for a war. TikTok debate, kill Trojan horse, hurt Americans? Crypto giant Binance secretly maintained business with China. China's customs data leaked. China buys Russian crude oil at the world's highest price.
Xi Jinping and Putin's recent visit to Russia called on China-Russia to jointly promote a century of game changes, which is said to be the final phase confrontation between dictators and democrats. The Russia-Ukraine war and the Indo-Pacific situation will probably change in the upcoming times. Some China affairs experts perceive that Beijing is sending out a war signal. On March 25th, Zhang Jiaodun, a China affairs expert, retweeted an article using an illustrative chart. The Chinese government has recently been selling U.S. Treasury bonds continuously and has reduced its holdings of U.S. Treasuries bonds to the lowest in 10 years. The sales are still accelerating. At the same time, the Chinese government is also increasing its gold reserves. Zhang Jiaodun believes the exchange of dollars for gold is a war signal, indicating Beijing is preparing to attack Taiwan or other neighboring countries, so they must be wary of Western punishment sanctions. After Russia invaded Ukraine last year, Yu Yongding, an expert and a member of the Chinese Academy of Social Sciences, at least publicly proposed to reduce the holdings of U.S. Treasuries bonds twice. In an article published on April 6, 2022, Yu Yongding quoted Martin Wolf of the Financial Times, prominent economic commentator, who said in 2013, if the U.S. and China have a conflict, the U.S. may cut off China's trade routes with the world and may also confiscate some of China's liquid financial assets. Therefore, a complete decoupling of China and the U.S. is not impossible, and eventual U.S. sanctions on China could include the seizure of CCP assets in the U.S. Recently, Russia announced the deployment of tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus, and NATO plans to deploy 300,000 NATO troops on Russia's eastern border as part of its largest regional defense plan. In an interview, Poland's ambassador to France, Jan Emmerich Roskanowski, said that if Ukraine loses, Poland or other Baltic states will be dragged into the war. Otherwise, our fundamental values and civilization will be threatened. All of this suggests the scale of the Russia-Ukraine war could expand. In that context, the Chinese government stepped in again. Scenes of Xi Jinping signaling Putin to push for a joint game-changer has been captured by Western media, with scholars warning this means China and Russia are joining forces to fight back Europe and the U.S. China may go to war with Taiwan, using it to support Russia in the Ukraine war. Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida has just made a brief visit to Ukraine. At the graduation ceremony of Japan's National Defense Academy on March 26th, he also said, Ukraine today could be East Asia tomorrow. Japan's neighbors are strengthening their nuclear and missile strike capabilities and expanding their arsenals. Kishida clearly expressed his sense of danger to the current situation in East Asia. He refers to the countries around Japan, China, North Korea, and Russia. The Chinese government is holding a 38-day live fire exercise in the South China Sea. Will the situation in East Asia change? The world is watching. TikTok CEO Shou Zichu's 5-hour grilling by U.S. lawmakers was probably the most watched congressional hearing this year. While American officials have tried to impose intense scrutiny and move forward to a bill that bans this short video app, Chinese authorities continue to support TikTok wholeheartedly. Newsweek reported that a senior U.S. official had called TikTok a Trojan horse. He claimed it posed long-term cybersecurity challenges linked to its Chinese parent company, ByteDance. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning said on March 28th, the U.S. has provided no evidence or proof to support its allegation, yet it has been abusing its state power to block and suppress the company concerned. On March 27th, at a policy conference in Napa, Rob Joyce, who heads the National Security Agency, NSA's Cybersecurity Directorate, said, "Why would you bring the Trojan horse inside the fortress?" Joyce added, "Why would you bring that capability into the U.S. when the Chinese could manipulate the data we see to either include the things that they want to present to our population, divisive material, or remove the things that paint them in a bad light, which they would not like to be exposed to the American people?" The official described the app as a loaded gun. This underlined a statement by NSA Director General Paul Nakastone, who stated to the House Intelligence Committee on March 9th that 1/3 of Americans obtain their news from TikTok. According to TikTok, 150 million Americans use the app every month. The government-owned tabloid China Daily, widely read in America, claimed in an editorial on March 28th that TikTok's enormous popularity and the fact that it is not a U.S. product has American authorities in a tiz. Mao said that Washington would be breaking market rules for forbidding TikTok. She added that in addition to hurting the company's and the American people's interests, the U.S. is also undermining investor trust in the American business environment. According to the Financial Times report, China might be more critical to the world's largest exchange than previously claimed. Publicly, Binance claimed it halted its China operations after the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, launched a crypto crackdown in late 2017. However, the publication discovered that it only drove the business underground and obscured Chinese offices, one of which was used until late 2019. In a group message in 2017 viewed by FT, China executive Shangpeng Zhao reportedly directed, "We no longer publish our office addresses, so people in China can directly say that our office is not in China." In late 2019, when the media discovered that Binance was opening an office in Beijing, it again cautioned staff, "Reminder, publicly, we have offices in Malta, Singapore, and Uganda. Please do not confirm any offices anywhere else, including China." Staff was told to keep their mouths shut about their Binance employment. Here is one message made in mid-2018 that FT uncovered. "Dear all, please do not wear any apparel or accessories with Binance logos at or around our office locations. It is strictly prohibited." Binance also instructed workers to mask their activities by China by using virtual private networks, VPNs, with newcomers told to download the service on their devices. In 2018, it instructed employees to receive their salaries through a Shanghai bank. The following year, workers on the payroll in China went to a tax session in a Chinese office. In addition, non-Shanghainese were told to have at least 1 year of Social Security in the city in order to apply for a passport there. Publicly, Binance claimed that only a few customer service agents stayed in China by late 2018. It also denied keeping any technology in the country, including servers or data. But FT said documents showed a Shanghai office was used for worker training and events. Until 2019, the company was still hiring staff like a data analyst and a clearing specialist in Shanghai 2 years after Zhao said Binance left China. One Binance employee said in November 2019, "We also have lots of non-Shanghai employees that come to Shanghai office frequently and would be inconvenient to exclude that part of the team." Binance refuted the FT finding, saying, "It is unfortunate that anonymous sources are citing ancient history in crypto terms and dramatically mischaracterizing events. This is not an accurate picture of Binance's operations." The crypto giant is in a lawsuit with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, which accused it of illegally operating in the U.S. Previously, foreign media cited Russian customs data revealing that the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, bought Russian crude oil at the highest price in the world. China customs data also shows similar results, and a Weibo netizen who posted the query results was immediately banned. The CCP is accused of quietly supporting Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and its large-scale purchase of Russian crude oil is one of its ways of support. On March 23rd, a Weibo user posted that after checking the online statistical data of China's General Administration of Customs, the CCP is buying Russian crude oil at high prices. The post attracted many comments from netizens, but Weibo soon activated the hide comments function. As a result, the netizen's account was also banned that day. Xintang Ren reporters also found similar results on the online statistical data query platform. The results show, in the first 2 months of 2023, China's imports of petroleum crude oil and bituminous crude oil from Russia were more than 16.6 billion kilograms, with a total value of more than $8.4 billion. Based on the calculation of the results, the average unit price of imported Russian oil in the first 2 months of 2023 is about $74 per barrel. According to China customs data, calculations show that the value of Russian crude oil imported in 2022 was over $58 billion, and the import price was around $93 per barrel. This price is almost consistent with the previous foreign media reports. For example, Reuters, citing Russian customs data, said that China imported 3.8 million tons of Russian crude oil in January this year at prices ranging from over $72 to almost $84 per barrel, excluding freight charges, the world's highest price. According to China customs data, the total amount of Russian crude oil imports in January and February this year was about 15.678 million tons, substantially more than the previous amount reported by foreign media. After the Russia-Ukraine war occurred, due to the international community's sanctions, Russian oil prices plummeted. Since December 5, 2022, the Western allies have placed a price limit of $60 per barrel on Russian crude oil. According to Bloomberg, last March, after the Russia-Ukraine war broke out, India bought Russian crude oil cheaply, and Russia offered to export Urals crude oil to India at a low price of $35 a barrel.